You're tuned into Graffiti TV. My name's Kato, and I'm going to share with you some techniques that I use when creating letters. I'll show you how to break your letters down into smaller pieces so you can get more control when building and styling your piece. I've used the letter A for this example. I've done 6 different versions, ranging from basic to complex wild style. So let's get into it. So what we have here in this basic A is 3 separate shapes. And I've drawn the lines to show you where they intersect, to show you that I've drawn them in separate pieces. That they're really basic. Stepping up to this one here, same thing, 3 pieces. I've just worked the pieces a little bit more. I've pushed them a little bit more. I've gone thick to thin. I've also added on these edges here. These are in the same as in type. You have serif and sans serif. It basically is without edge is sans serif, and serif is with edge or foot or duvilakas or whatever the hell you want to call them. So this one has a little bit more style to it. This one over here, I've broken it up into even more pieces. So this has 3 primary pieces. This one now, I've broken up into 4 primary pieces. These other bits here, they're more like secondary complementary pieces to your letter. And then, these little bits here, it's all just complementing the main structure of the letter. So what I've done here is put a kink in it, and instead of just doing one piece with a bend in it, I've just drawn 2 separate bits. And then that's given me the option to do serifs or little accents on these edges here. So if I come back and rub out these connecting lines here, it looks like one piece, but it has a much more interesting edge over here where you can see 2 pieces working together to become one. Choosing which lines to rub out and how to rub them out, or how to show how they interconnect, is really important on how you want the piece to look. It'll start to push it into 3-dimensional space depending on how you erase it or how you draw those lines back in. So for example, this bit here, I don't want to rub out the entire bit. I can if I want, but I naturally would want to take out the top and leave the bottom in there. And what that does is show that it's not connected on the bottom, and it starts to merge in the top, so it's overlapping and then merging, which makes it much more interesting than just a direct connection with not much going on there. That side there, I could just connect it properly. This bit here, I've rubbed out most of it and I've left this little line here. Again, it's pushing it into 3-dimensional space. It shows this piece kind of disappearing into the back. These are just options. You don't have to do any of this. You just pick and choose what you think is going to work well. These secondary pieces here, rub out the bits where they connect just to show that they are, a part of the letter. You don't have to. It just helps in continuity of the letter. Here, this letter's a little bit more smooth flowing. I would just rub out most of the lines that are connecting there. And there's just some little inlines there to give it a bit of depth and show that there's not just flat, there's a bit more to it. So this one here, I've broken this up into even more pieces. This kind of has probably 5 primary pieces to it, and then it has a lot of secondary, like complementary pieces to it, which are further just intensifying the look of that letter. It's more wild style. So with this one, rubbing out certain lines is going to give you a really different effect. You want to rub out enough of the connecting lines to show that it is the letter that you're trying to create. So, rubbing out that top one there is starting to bring it back to being more of an A. That bit there, this bit. It's starting to come together and look a little bit more like an A. But this creates an interesting look. It shows that this piece here is kind of sitting behind that piece, and it's layering things up, and it makes things a lot more interesting when you do that. This is a style that I kind of work on. Doesn't matter what style you do, just work on making it look good. If it looks good, it looks good. Doesn't matter how you got there. These are just techniques that help me, that hopefully are going to help some of you guys express what you want to in letters a bit better. But by breaking them down into smaller pieces, it's really much easier to get it looking funky. So I mean, this small A here, I've done it in a few small pieces. It's pretty simple, but it's still more complicated than just a straight up A. If I just tried to, outline this in one go, and it's a lot harder to funk out the letters. I mean, for me it's a bit easier just because I've drawn so much so I can visualize it, but if you're a beginner, it's much harder to get these flowing lines by just trying to do it all in one go. Make it easier for yourself and break things down into smaller, more manageable steps. And remember, the only difference between a master and an apprentice is the master has failed more times than the apprentice has even tried. I don't consider myself to be a master, but these words continually motivate me to keep trying. I know that every time I fail, I'm one step closer to getting it right. So keep at it, keep graphing, keep loving the art. Peace!